We're cheering you on the entire time. And you're doing fantastically in the tournament. Good luck, and I hope you win. Goodbye, David Lashra. It began as a royal picnic, but ended in mayhem. I like you like brothers too. A child's tears, a private insult, and an unexpected royal backlash. The truth could rock the monarchy to its foundation. Did Prince William truly ban Camilla's granddaughter for betraying Princess Charlotte? Hit the subscribe button right away after watching through to the finish. A happy royal afternoon swiftly descended into a storm that none anticipated. All the components of tranquility, laughter, family togetherness, and an opportunity for the royals to get away from the spotlight were present on a beautiful sunny day at Windsor Castle's private gardens. King Charles himself had planned it to be a private, stress-free environment, but beneath the sophistication of the finger delicacies and garden activities, a long-standing undercurrent subtly stirred. There had long been hints of subdued conflict between the various family groups, according to royal insiders. We usually mean it when it's a small family because over the course of 10 years we're going to have a lot of them. However, Princess Charlotte was seen clinging to her mother, her face flushed and obviously upset. On this particular day, those quiet tensions weren't so quiet anymore, while the royal children played Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. Nearby employees exchanged anxious looks. According to sources, the conflict began when one of Camilla's grandchildren, said to be Eliza, made comments about Charlotte that weren't just light teasing. Soon after, the tranquil afternoon would devolve into one of the most startling royal clashes in recent memory. According to witnesses, it came across as abrasive, even cruel. A comment made fun of Charlotte's curtsy. The most shocking comment, however, was apparently made by Eliza when she claimed, "Your mommy is just pretending to be queen, mine's the real one." Another allegedly made fun of her carefully chosen and created clothes by Kate. Given that it came from a child, it might have been dismissed as immaturity. And in the end, I want my kid's future to be better than the one we now have. Even though many who saw it say it wasn't innocent, it had an air of haughtiness that was much too sharp for the situation. Charlotte, who is often calm and self-assured, was obviously upset. She was observed sobbing and running to Kate for solace. It was a very personal event, not just a depressing one. Employees who witnessed it happen said it was difficult to watch. Now what had begun as a casual royal event felt like the beginning of something much more important. Kate, who always exuded poise and control, refrained from openly expressing her anger. Instead of reprimanding or pointing fingers in front of everyone, she gently drew Charlotte away, held her close, and took her inside away from the throng. However, insiders claim that there was a change in her energy, calm but clearly enraged. Wonderful, and she has been a tiny piece of heaven, but also, behind closed doors. According to reports, Kate asked Camilla for a private conversation. She didn't intend to make unfounded accusations. She only wanted the matter resolved, but what transpired only served to fan the flames. Allegedly, Camilla dismissed the entire event, calling it children being children. She then said, "We mustn't be so sensitive about playground squabbles, dear." That was the last straw for Kate. Palace aides said that although Kate stayed calm, the dynamic between her and Camilla changed. She made it apparent that this was about respect and a pattern that could no longer be disregarded. Not simply one remark. The fact that relationships are so vividly expressed through it is incredibly potent. Kate wasn't by herself either. According to reports, Princess Anne publicly supported her, stating no child regardless of rank should have to endure that kind of treatment. The message was very obvious. This was not a silent matter. Prince William adopted a different strategy as Kate handled the immediate emotional aspects of the situation. According to reports, he stopped mid-conversation and fixed his gaze on the events taking place close after learning what had happened. Charlotte remained clearly shaken. Kate had a solemn expression. William's demeanor shifted during a private conversation with his wife. According to those close to him, he asked the supervising staff for a detailed account right away. To him, every detail was important. He was curious to know precisely what had been said and why. This was different since it wasn't the first time Camilla's grandchildren were accused of making hurtful comments or making fun of the way those parenting style. But this time, with his daughter in tears and the insult's tone being too personal, William had had enough. He convened a private conference at Kensington Palace with his senior staff the very next morning. No formality, no press, simply a decision made behind closed doors that would soon rock the whole royal system. I believe there was a dispute among the group of kids who were left behind over who received the rocking horse. William kept his voice down. He was not required to. He reportedly talked with conviction and clarity, and Camilla's granddaughter was granted the same privileges. Ceremonial invites, informal recognition, and access to private parties were to be eliminated right away. He underlined that this wasn't intended to discipline a child. The action was taken to uphold royal standards. He asserted that being near royalty does not equate to being royalty. The response was prompt. It was said that Camilla was taken by surprise. She had been attempting to integrate her family into the royal family for years. She saw this as a direct assault on all she had constructed with King Charles, not only on her granddaughter. She hurried to talk with the king and demanded that he change the ruling, but Charles refused, saying that he thought getting involved would only make things worse, and that his silence, with the public's attention now focused on him, said more than any words could. The story leaked in a matter of days, and as it reached the tabloids, it quickly gained widespread attention. The drama was caught in the headlines. William makes a decision. The granddaughter of Camilla was taken away. The public was enthralled and massively in favor of social internet was ablaze with compliments. Hashtags such as Deem and Protect Charlotte. Charlotte was popular on all platforms. The last time this occurred was 3 years ago. Villa's big European night. Therefore, a lot of viewers perceived Charlotte as a young queen who was also a kid and meshed in something much greater than herself. The picture of William and Kate stepping in as parents rather than royals was what truly touched people. Charlotte wasn't given the treatment of a princess. Like any other daughter, she was safeguarded. On the other hand, Camilla's granddaughter came to represent all that many people found objectionable about royal partiality and unmerited privilege. It wasn't about age, but rather about actions and their results. The world of Camilla changed behind the castle door. She had spent years creating a new persona, overcoming scandal to become the queen consort. However, the assistance she had previously received was suddenly waning. According to those close to her, she felt alone. People would eventually grow weary and believe that nothing is ever happening, so naturally, they will become frustrated, not only by William's behavior, but also by Charles's failure to step in. She allegedly blamed Kate, thinking she had planned the reaction. Insiders claim that Camilla even contemplated withdrawing from public life, perhaps for health or stress-related reasons. However, the public didn't buy the compassion line. For many, this was an instance of responsibility rather than injustice. According to them, the crown shouldn't serve as a haven for those who don't share its ideals. William's choice sent a powerful message throughout the nation, not just within the palace walls. This was about vision, not about exacting revenge or harboring resentment. Standing up, a future monarch declares, "This is how the monarchy should be from now on." The royal family has depended on tradition for many years. Hierarchy of names, titles, and they have all influenced the way the organization functions, but Williams's actions shown that values now take precedence over name. Nevertheless, I am aware that my position requires me to fulfill certain duties, and that titles are not prizes for closeness, but rather duties gained via moral behavior and consistent. By putting a sharp line, by redefining inclusion as something based on merit, rather than courtesy, William changed the meaning of being near to the crown. It was no longer about who you are related to by marriage, but rather about who you are when no one is looking. By doing this, he accomplished more than just protecting his daughter. He reminded everyone that credibility is essential to the monarchy's future. Kate demonstrated leadership on her own as well. Although her strength was more subtle and quiet, it was still very strong. "I will absolutely give it a go, even if it's something I haven't tried before, because it's incredibly enjoyable." She did this by refusing to use the media to worsen the situation, keeping the attention where it should be on the ideals they want their children and their country to reflect: courage, decency, and composure. Royal specialists pointed out that public perception has already started to change as a result of this moment. Camilla's family had been progressively increasing their attendance at royal gatherings for years. Their presence was welcomed if not completely embraced. However, recently, attention has been drawn to how quickly privilege can become hazy when left unchecked. People began to pose difficult queries. Should the monarchy look inclusive at the expense of its essential identity by allowing people without formal positions to attend state ceremony? These questions have always been asked in a whispering manner, but now they are being asked out loud, which alone represents a significant change. William's firm stance served as a reminder to all that the royal family is not intended to be a social club. It represents accountability, solidarity, and service. We shall unite as a nation in more than a week. Unchecked entitlement, even within the family, would undermine everything it stands for. The effects would also extend well beyond the palace ground. Parents throughout and even overseas found great resonance in what transpired. Millions of people found this to be personal because it was not only a royal narrative, but also a parenting and protection story. What really won people over was the notion that even a princess might be bullied, feel pain, cry, and need her parents. And it was William and Kate's response that gave people hope again that a crown isn't always the source of leadership. It can occasionally come from silent bravery. Please share your opinions in the comments section below. Tell us which side you support, and click the subscribe button if you want more in-depth analyses of hidden royal tales. Beyond the confines of the palace, much more is taking place, and we have only just begun.